If you don't have your sound on, you better turn it on right now because you need to listen to this crunch. This is the ultimate crispy pork belly with Balinese flavors. Okay guys, believe it, we are gonna make super crispy, crackling pork. I'm gonna show you all my little tips and tricks for doing that. This one's a little bit different to one of my other crispy pork crackling recipes that you guys might remember, but it's still a technique that works really well. So first of all, let's talk about the pork. Now, when you're off to buy your pork belly, what you're looking for is one that has a fairly good chunk of meat because we don't want all fat. I always like to go for a meaty one. And now what you want to do here is score your pork. Now, I find that this is one of the things that happens when you're scoring at home is that your knives aren't as sharp as the butcher's knife, and you don't quite get a good cut through that skin because it's quite tough. So I always like to use a Stanley knife. I only use it for cooking. Don't worry, it's not in the toolbox with all the greasy things. It's only for cooking, and I use a ruler because it helps to keep the skin and the pork steady and that cut really straight. You don't need to go deep here. I just want to pierce the skin. I don't want to get too much of the fat. And about 1 centimeter width apart. And now comes the next most important part, and that is the salt. So the scoring is going to allow a lot of the fat that's just underneath the skin to escape, which gives us the crispy skin. The salt is going to draw out some of the moisture in the skin and that layer of fat as well, and that's also going to help with the crisping. Now you want to be generous with the salt here. I want quite a good sprinkling on top, and then I really want to get in there with my hands and give this guy a massage. You want to get that salt right into those little score marks that we've made. So that is the crispy crackling part taken care of for the moment. Now we're going to add some flavor, and I'm using my Balinese coconut turmeric marinade for this one. I love all the beautiful spices and the sunshine yellow color of this one. It really just makes me very happy. But if you can't get a hold of this, you can find the recipe for this on my website. And I know food companies don't usually do that, but I do because I genuinely just want you guys to eat some good stuff. Whether you're buying my stuff or you're making it yourself, I don't mind. Anyway, let's get this beautiful marinade onto our pork. Now the secret here is that we want to keep that skin part of the pork as dry as possible. I just want the flavoring on the meat part of the pork. So I'm going to pour just enough on here that I think will cover the meat, and then spread that out. Make sure you get the sides as well. Okay, that's looking good. I'm going to put that onto my roasting tray. Okay, now another crucial step for that pork crackling, and I know it's requiring a lot of attention, but it will be worth it in the end. But the thing is here that we want to leave that pork to sit uncovered for at least 45 minutes. And that's going to dry out the skin even more, and that will help us with the crackling in the oven. If you can do it for overnight, that would be even better. So I've had my pork resting for about an hour, and if you have a look here, you can see some of that moisture on the top. That's all good signs, but I want to get rid of that before I roast it because anything liquid or moisture is the enemy to anything crispy and crackly. So give that a good wipe with some paper towel and really pat it dry. I want to make sure this is bone dry on the top. And now into a hot oven for an hour until that skin is nice and crispy. So in the meantime, I'm going to make some pickled cabbage and carrot and chili to go with our roast pork. It's really simple. I just want some rice vinegar, some sugar, and a little pinch of coriander seeds, and some salt. Now just give that a whisk to start that sugar dissolving. And after that I'm going to add some cabbage, some carrot, and just some large mild chilies. I'm more after that kind of mild capsicum flavor than a lot of heat for this one. And now you've got to get in here with your hands because I kind of want to massage that pickling liquid into every strand of those vegetables. This is such a great accompaniment because of course that pork is really fatty and rich, and this kind of cuts through all of that and adds some acidity. And by the time your pork is done, those vegetables will be beautifully pickled. Now that is just perfect. Ah, look at that bubbly skin, that amazing crackling. Beautiful. And now the moment of truth. Listen to that sound. Doesn't get much better than that. Whoa, and just have a look in there. You can see that we've nicely rendered all that fat that's immediately underneath the skin, and look at that beautiful layer of crispy crackling. This is what dreams are made of, my friends. And now I like to serve this at the table so everyone can help themselves. I'm going to pile up my beautiful pickled vegetables and just some rice as well. Now this is one pork dish that's going to make you a very popular person. Try some. The sound just speaks for itself. Yum. And those beautiful spices as well. Coconut and the turmeric. Perfect. If you've got any comments or questions, pop them below. And if you enjoyed the video, why not hit that subscribe button plus the little bell one, and that way you'll get notified every time I release a new video. Thanks, guys.